Hey everybody, welcome to Jasmine Deshauna, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about what to expect when you say I do. So when you get married, when you officially get married, some of the things that you could expect for some people to do, okay? So this is just my own personal experience so far. Um, I have been married for a few months now, and yeah, this has just been my personal experience. Um, yeah. All right, guys, so let's jump in. My mind is just like right thinking already, just like, oh my goodness. So, anyway, one of the things was unsolicited advice. So, people giving their unwanted opinions. So, what I have experienced is people telling me like their horror stories. Okay. So like telling me, oh, they got divorced because of, the person wasn't who they pretended the whole time, and the person wasn't who they say they was, and now they're divorced, and the person had this, put on this whole act, and so people telling me all of their horror stories. And yeah, so I was like getting people telling me that, like, oh, watch out for this, be careful for that. Okay, so let me give you just a little snippet of something. So basically, so me and my husband, both of us are believers. Both of us are Christ followers. And for us, okay, so with this particular video, I'm not going to give too much detail, um, but I will say that from the time of meeting, well, dating into marriage, it took us about 6 months of actually like being in a relationship to getting married, like about 6 months or something like that. And so okay, so for our particular situation, I know for me, there was like prayer about it, fasting. He was praying about it. I had friends, like I have some really, really good friends. So my friends were in prayer for me. And so for us, our story, it took roughly 6 months from dating to marriage. Okay. And I know that's not going to be everybody's story. I know God deals with everybody differently, but that is what our situation was. So, but I think because of how me and my husband, how we met, and how we got married, from dating to married in 6 months, I think that's why people was trying to say, oh, and maybe, okay, some people probably really meant well, but they were telling me like all the worst case scenario horror stories. And so I was like, oh, okay, like, okay, but sometimes you have to be careful to not bring your trauma into another person's situation. So you have to be careful about that. I understand, like, even if you mean well, because I know everybody is not always trying to be negative. I know some people probably genuinely mean well, but be careful to not put your trauma onto someone else, like your experience, because your marriage didn't work, because you ended up in divorce, because whatever happened, and then bring that to someone else. And for their situation, which we are totally different. I don't know your sensitivity to the Holy Spirit. I don't know if you were in prayer and fast. I don't know if you have friends who are praying for you as well. I don't know your situation. I don't know. Like, everybody's situation is totally different. So you just got to be careful, like, to not give your advice or your opinions, and you don't even know the backs, like what's behind the scenes, because what seems to have moved fast to you, what seems that, oh my gosh, like that was super quick, you don't know what was going on behind the scenes. You don't have the circle of friends that I have who are prayer warriors. You're not in my prayer closet with me. You wasn't praying and fasting. Like, you just don't know what's going on. So you have to be careful. Don't give your unwanted, unsolicited advice. But anyway, that was happening to me. Like, oh my goodness, y'all. So people were like, oh. Anyway, and this, okay, so guys, I don't know if y'all thought this video was gonna be super serious, but it's definitely lighthearted. But it has been a journey. Oh my goodness. So anyway, another thing that you could possibly expect, I know something that happened for me was nosiness. The amount of nosy people is like unbelievable. Everybody want to know the details. Everybody want to know the ins and the outs. And this is the thing. So I am more open. I'm a more open person than my husband. He is more private than I am. Now, when I was younger, I used to be more like him when it comes to privacy. Like I was a lot more private. Like do not ask me any personal business. Like I will shut it down immediately. I used to be like that a lot when I was younger. As I've gotten older, I have loosened up and I'm not so I'm not super private. I'm still private, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't say anything. Like, don't ask me any. I am more open because I thought about it and I was explaining this to my husband. You have to think as believers, right? You know how the Bible talks about whatever you do, do it for the glory of God, right? It can be anything. And that can be career, it can be the job that you choose, it can be teach, it can be whatever, right? Whatever we do it for the glory of God. And I was just telling him that we have to think about it like this. Maybe our story could be encouraging for someone. Maybe like our story and like how everything God orchestrated us meeting and coming together. Maybe that could bless somebody. So think about it as like that. No, like I'm not going to be sharing like everything and all the details. So also, I want to keep things private and to a certain extent as well. So I totally get where my husband is coming from, but we also can be a blessing to someone too. You know what I mean? Like when God blesses you and you know how God brought everything together, like how everything played out, maybe it can encourage someone that wants to get married and yeah, so that's why we do it for we share to a certain extent because it could be a blessing to someone else, you know what I mean? But the thing is that people were being like overly nosy. Like I was having people to ask me because okay, so you know that I'm a teacher, right? I've said this before. And like having people ask because the school year literally just finished. The school year just finished last week. And so asking, oh, so because and me and my husband, we got married during the school year. So I had like some people asking me, "Oh, are you going to live with him right away? Like, are y'all moving together right away, or are you going to wait? Or so is he going to like literally asking these type of details, and that is none of anybody's business. Like that's what I'm saying. Like just extra, just asking a lot of details that it's like this is none of your business. You don't need to know. Like I had someone ask me, like, so on the weekends, are you staying? Are you gonna go over? Like, are y'all gonna be together? Like, I can't. I'm being dead serious, and I'm actually trying to like paraphrase these things and try to. But like, are you going to be staying? Like, are you going to move with him, or it's like, how is this going to work? And it's like, why are you asking me? And these were associates. So this is the thing. I have great friends. Like my friends are amazing. My circle of friends, they're super great. And so because we have a like I don't know if our spirit, you know, like when you're friends with people, you tend to be more like-minded. And I don't know if it's because being my friends are more like-minded and we are not super nosy people. My friends wasn't digging for information. It was actually associates. It was people I was cool with, but we are associates. We're not close friends. My close friends, the people who were praying for me, with me, like they got my back, my actual close friends, they wasn't asking all that. It was the associates, like the people like we cool, but geez, like don't ask me all like just asking super detailed things that was none of their business. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I don't know if other people have experienced this when they got married, like the amount of nosiness and people just coming out of nowhere asking questions that is none of your business. I'm like, Listen, but the thing about it is like something. So I am okay, how can I say it? I am already an opinionated type of person and I do speak my mind. However, I noticed like when I got married, I have been more comfortable and confident with just, I don't want to say the word putting people in their place, but just telling people like, okay, I'm not sharing that with you. Like at first, I, I don't know, because it can be uncomfortable when a person is coming up to you like, oh, can I see how he looks? Can you show me pictures? Or are you gonna be, and you have to tell people like, wait a minute, yeah, I'm not sharing that information with you. And I literally had to say that to some people, like, okay, I'm not discussing that. And I say it just like that, oh, I'm not sharing that, even if it offends them. Like some people, now this may sound crazy, like how are they getting offended? You would be surprised. Because some people feel like, oh, like, well, excuse me. But no, like if you're bold enough to ask me certain questions, that is none of your business, and I'm gonna be bold enough to stop you in your tracks and tell you, I'm not discussing that with you. I'm not sharing that. I would flat out. I've been flat out telling people that, like, I'm not discuss. I don't care who you are. I'm not discussing that with you. Like, people feel. I don't know if they feel entitled or what, but it's like, oh, like, tell me the information. Absolutely not. It's none of your business. So, yeah, that has been happening to me, and it's so weird because my husband has been having the opposite experience. I am mainly around women, so the line of work that I do, just in general, I'm mainly around women. I'm not around men that often. But my husband is opposite. He's mainly around men. And so for him, he's like, Jasmine, I'm not experiencing any of that. Like when people found out he got married, they were just like, oh, oh man, you got married. Oh, congratulations. And they left it at that, and they never said anything else about it. They didn't ask him details. Where y'all going for your honeymoon? Is your wife, like he wasn't experiencing all that, but I was. And I was experiencing like, oh, so where are you going for your honeymoon? Well, where is this? Or where are you going to be living? Or are you going to teach over here? Like, where are you going to be working? Like, people were asking me a lot of questions. And yeah, my husband was like, nah. Like, he was like, I work with a bunch of men. They do not care. That's what he would say. He was like, yeah, they are not going to be that nosy and digging for information. They could care less. But because I work with a lot of women and I'm just around, mainly women, my experience has been totally different than his. Like some of the things that I share with him, he's like, what? They asked you that? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, why? And I'm like, yeah, it's different. Men and women, it's different. And I think for women in this particular situation, I feel like when you talk about marriage relationship, it tends to like draw women in. Women tend to be more excited about this information. They tend to be more like nosy but men, I know like men do want to, there's men who want to be married, there are men who want to be in a relationship, but for men, it's not like, okay, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, okay, it's fine. But I feel like it's not as deep for them as it is for women. That's probably why they're not as nosy. They're like, oh, cool, congratulations. Like, it's cool, but it's not like digging for information. Like, oh my gosh, you got me, like, oh my God, like, tell me everything. Men's, I think because they're I just think it's a difference when it comes to this particular thing, like life change. Is this particular life change, like marriage and that type of thing. I don't think they are maybe as excited as women, so that's why women want more detail than men about this. Yeah. So anyway, because yeah, his experience was different, but okay. Another thing that I have experienced was a you can sense some jealousy in the room. Okay, so let's talk about this. And this is something that you really need to, I mean, you can expect. Because this is the thing. sometimes when people are used to seeing you a certain way, they may be used to seeing you single, or we can take this even further. They're used to seeing you in a particular position in your field. They're used to, and then when they see God elevate you or promote you to something that you have been praying for, not everybody is going to be happy for you. Not everybody is truly going to rejoice with you. And this is the truth. And this might be like the hardest part to swallow, because it could be a family member, it can be a friend. And that's when I was saying on the last video about you might have to change up your circle, because you might start getting the people that you was close to, you might start getting side after them from them. It's so true. And this is the thing. So like I said, I have great friends. So I wasn't getting side eye from my close friends. My close friends are genuinely happy for me. I know that they are. But like I said, there were some circles of people that I have to be around that yeah, like if I mention, oh yeah, my husband or this or that, and you have to be careful with what you share too, because it's like I am being careful with even my words on here, but just knowing that like we already have our house and everything. We already like God has blessed us, and God had like, you know what I'm saying? Like God has blessed us. We have our house. It's in a nice area. It's in a nice neighborhood. Like I said, I don't want to give too much details. We already have like trips to like we already have book trips to travel and stuff. And when you're sharing certain things, guys, this is not coming on to like be boasting or flexing or anything. But what I'm saying is when you start sharing certain things and people remember you before, or they knew who you, like they knew you before that happened, you kind of sometimes can get like, or like, and you have to be prepared for that. And it's so sad. And this is another thing. If your heart is like that, because this really happened. This is a situation. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but there's been some stuff happening. If your heart is nasty like that and you can't rejoice when God has blessed someone, don't ever expect to be blessed by God, because you're not. Because I know some women who are complaining about they want to get married, but then when their sister in Christ or another woman that they know, God blessed them to be married, they can't be happy for them. They can't rejoice with them. Don't expect God to bless you with marriage. Don't expect God to do anything, because your heart is not pure. Your heart is not right. Because even when I was single, I wasn't going around hating on everybody and having a mean, nasty spirit and side-eyeing and rolling my eyes and looking at women, all kinds of ways just because they were married and I wasn't. So you got to check your heart, okay? If you have a nasty heart and nasty spirit, you can be praying and fasting all day. Don't expect to be blessed by God. God would want us to be happy for people when he bless us with something. He want us to rejoice with each other. He want us to be happy for each other, not being bitter and having an attitude with that person, or rolling your eyes, don't do that. So I'm just letting you know, you can do it if you want to, but do not expect to be blessed by God. And you're wondering why you 50, 60, 70 and nobody has ever chosen you. Your heart is probably nasty. You got to check your heart to not get bitter when God blesses somebody. So I really want to say that, and there is a reason why I'm saying that. But anyway, so I just want to put that out because it's true. Because yeah, people start acting all weird and just, yeah. It's so sad, but this is reality, guys. So I'm being honest. This is reality. So you might have to start switching things up, changing things. If you telling somebody some good news and you start seeing stuff, but at the same time, like I said a little earlier, everything you don't have to share. So you don't have to be giving so much detail, so much information, the trips that y'all gonna take, the vacations you don't really have to share all that information. But in general, whether the person shares or not, that nastiness and that having that nasty heart because it hasn't happened for you yet, don't expect to be blessed by God. But so yeah, these are some of the things that I have been just yeah experiencing since I have been married. And but guys, marriage life it's been fun. Obviously, it's gonna be challenging. So I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and act like there's not challenges that comes along with being married and a man and a woman coming together when you are, you know, your mind is already like you are who you are, like your personality, your identity, everything is established already, and then you are joining life with someone. Obviously there's going to be conflict, there's going to be disagreements, but God's grace is sufficient in those things, you know. So yeah, we're going to talk more about, you know, marriage life, but not just that. There's some other things that's on my heart too that I want to share with you guys. Okay, so I will talk to you later. Y'all take care. Okay, God bless.